We're in the car because, I'm not home right now. The last frontier. It's really early. I wasn't sure what to talk about for this first episode, so I just picked one of my favorite things, which is the phrase structured daydreaming. The reason I wanted to talk about structured daydreaming first is because this is the first way I come up with a whole new script idea. When I heard someone else say it who was a professional, I was listening to John August and Craig Mazin's podcast, Scriptnotes. Fantastic podcast, by the way. John was talking about how he sees the scene in his head before he writes it. He asked Craig if he did the same thing, and Craig said, and I love this, I absolutely do what you do. If you're not fond of or good at daydreaming, find another thing to do, because that's what screenwriting is. Rigorous, structured daydreaming. I think I actually paused the podcast just to appreciate this moment. It was like, there's a word for it. Thank God. Like a flood of flashbacks. It just made perfect sense the instant he said it, and it was just, just the difference between saying daydreaming but putting structured in front of it. I don't know why it took someone else to tell me it was productive. I've always loved daydreaming. I've loved daydreaming even before I knew daydreaming was what you would call it. I remember watching the movie Flubber when I was 8 and being so affected by it. I spent the next 2 weeks of second grade just thinking over and over of stories that could happen between a human and a robot. There were going to be themes of self-sacrifice. That was structured daydreaming though, but my structured daydreaming made it so my teachers had to tell my parents, just kind of drifts away after a while. Which is very true. I had a hard time staring at the board. I'd kind of wake up 20 minutes later and be staring out the window and be like, oh crap, I have no idea what we're talking about. It's when you end up in a remedial reading class and have to watch all your other friends play recess while you're inside reading books with about 10 words a page. And experiences like those eventually led me to stop daydreaming. I just decided I wanted to be a really good student. So I didn't start structurally daydreaming for the sake of creating a story until I was in college, a senior in college. But this does not have to be you. It took me a while to figure out the best places for me to structurally daydream. The best places would be driving while blasting dance music, running while blasting dance music, and pretty much any time I am listening to dance music. I don't quite know why. I do really love to dance, and I really like a lot of dance music, but I mean the key to any of this would be finding a place where you're really relaxed, because it's I can just turn my brain off and yet it's still running, and then I find all this stuff that I didn't really know was there that I like. I actually listened to dance music before I filmed this because I was nervous. And I'll just start to see a scene, maybe one of a script I'm working on, maybe one of a script I'm thinking of starting. Now in that quote that I read you, he said something that I don't necessarily agree with. He said if you're not fond of or good at daydreaming, find another thing to do. And here's my concern. I'm worried people will think, oh, I'm not fond of daydreaming. I don't daydream, so I can't write. Maybe you did as a kid and maybe you felt guilty because it wasn't productive. I still don't think that means you can't. If you were really relaxed but had a way to not become self-conscious about what you're doing, I think you'd be surprised at maybe the daydreaming you would start to do. So, for fun discussion, in the comments below, tell me where you structurally daydream, and then we can all get ideas from each other. For those of us who have very specific ways that we brainstorm, we can try new things. And for those of you who feel like you never daydream, you can try all these different things. A common one is in the shower. I've read several screenwriters say that that really works for them. I don't know why that doesn't work for me. I think my mind just is shampoo, conditioner. I'll link the episode I referred to of John August's and Craig Mazin's script notes down below in the About section. And good luck on brainstorming the start of a new script. I think that's everything. I did breakfast.